Hey, welcome. Come on in, come on in. Have a seat. Let's check out some ghost videos. And today we're going to be watching top 5 scary ghost videos that prove we're not alone. And this comes from the channel Top 5 Ghosts. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to be startled, frightened, maybe jump scared. Who knows? Let's get going with these ghost stories, alright? Let's enjoy this.
A man shared security footage taken from his backyard camera, and what it shows has left many viewers unsettled. In the clip, everything appears still until the camera catches something strange on the swing set. A misty, translucent figure can be seen sitting on the swing, its form faint and barely holding shape. It gently moves with the swing's motion, as if simply resting there. There's no wind, no bugs on the lens, and no objects placed on the swing that could explain the shape. Was it just fog or dust caught at the perfect angle? Or did something otherworldly decide to visit his backyard?
You know, I am. That just seemed like some lighting or something like that to me, you know what I mean? Now, do I believe there are ghosts and stuff? Hell yeah, man, there's something. I've had stuff touch me, you know, I've had that for no reason. That, you know, that like cold chill you get when you know something is there but you don't see anything. And it's happened like in broad daylight, you know what I mean? Like it's not like it happened while I was walking to somewhere dark, or I was by myself, or you know, sometimes in a crowd, you know, it's like, whoa, you know, wait a minute, there's something here other than who is here. I've had that feeling before. You know, the sad part about it is that a lot of people like do stuff. You know, they see stuff on cameras and stuff, and they do it. I'm not saying that's what this is, but it's grain of salt vibe. Let's keep going here.
A man shared
Let's see what it
security
says.
footage from his apartment dining room camera, which he mainly uses to keep an eye on his pets. But on this particular night, while he was out on a date at a local bar, he got a notification of movement at home. Nothing unusual. He assumed it was just the pets moving around. But when he opened the live feed, he heard a voice.
Oh, that's the cat. Bloody cat.
He couldn't make out what it was saying, but it was loud enough to be picked up by the mic, and it didn't sound like any of his neighbors, who are normally very hard to hear. He was so disturbed, he admitted he didn't want to go back home. There was no one in the apartment, just his pets, and whatever made that voice.
Okay, the cat don't seem to be perturbed. The cat was just chilling. You'd think if the cat heard, if there's a voice, man, you know, the cat would like, you know what I mean? That's cats for you. That's another thing that freaks. That's one of the things that freaks me out about cats. You know, it's like the cat would be sitting and it'll be like, okay, I hear something. And this cat was just like, I'm chilling. You know, it sounds like somebody walking by an apartment and you could hear their muffled voices, or walking by a house, or something is going on the outside. That's what it sounds like to me.
In what seems like an ordinary drive through a busy intersection, one dashcam recording has left viewers completely puzzled.
I've seen this clip before. That car just appeared from nowhere.
As the driver approaches the crossing,
Nothing
traffic flows
coming.
normally. But then, in a split second, a vehicle suddenly appears in the middle of the intersection. There's no approach from any lane, no sign of it entering the frame. It's just there. Even the cars nearby don't seem to react right away, as if no one else saw it appear. But the dash cam clearly captures the moment a full-sized vehicle materializes from nowhere.
What the
There were no blind
bumbleclad?
spots, no visual obstructions, just an open intersection and a sudden arrival.
No, that's freaky. That is freaky.
A homeowner reviewing their security camera footage late one night noticed something unsettling in the living room. They'd set the camera to keep an eye on their pet. Nothing more.
The chair's rocking. Looks like somebody sitting in the chair just rocking
But in the silent
away.
darkness, the heavy rocking chair began to rock on its own. There were no windows open, no fans running, and no wind or storm outside that could have caused it. What's even stranger is how the chair leaned forward, as if something unseen had just stood up from it. The movement was deliberate and weighty, nothing like a random gust or vibration.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Franco
to
entered a long-abandoned house on the outskirts of town.
Okay, no, this
An
could
old
be
two-story
freaky.
building that had been left to deteriorate after its last residents mysteriously disappeared.
Is locked and this one's open, and there seems to be a bunch of chairs. And I got a lot of stuff in here the last time I was in here. What the hell was that? Listen.
Sounds like a chair dragging. There's somebody in there. Or is that him stepping on the...
There it is. What is that? I can't see it, but you guys could see it.
Now, how do you know to go? What is that?
There it is.
Yeah. Something's just floating around in there.
Or on the thermal imaging camera, I had seen something passing by the door. But before... Hold on, I want to see what's back there.
Somebody's in there.
Something just moved the door.
Not something. There's a person in there. I'm sorry.
He recorded the front door creaking open by itself, as though something was inviting him inside.
Did you move the door to get my attention? Is there anything you want to tell me? Now's the time to tell me.
Get out.
Somebody's water bottle.
Yeah, there's somebody in there. There's a person in there. Ain't no ghost in there. Yep. There's somebody in there messing with you.
Door's moving again. Bro.
He's just really calm for all of
This
that
is the
craziness to
other
be
side.
going on. Well, now we're gonna get the arbitrary person in the window thing, huh?
What the fuck is that? I think I just saw something move again. Hold on. I'm gonna zoom in.
Why don't you get your flashlight?
That I wanted to be able to go into and explore. Again, I'm doing this completely all dark. And I just seen a flashlight or something that looked like passed by the window.
There's somebody in there, dude. Straight up.
I hear somebody singing.
Yeah. There's somebody in there. There ain't no ghost in there. It's not that's not a mattress.
He caught a glimpse of something or someone peeking through the window. Upon entering, he also picked up the unsettling sound of singing, whether from a person or something else.
That's a person. That is a definite person. And I'll be honest with you, the fact that there's a person that's in an abandoned building messing with him is way scarier than the possibility of a ghost. Way scarier. Listen to that. That's freaky. That's a crazy person sitting there going, you know that type, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh man, dude, what are you doing? You're messing with somebody's house.
Oh shit, that is so.
They know you're in there too. Oh, squeezing through some place that's going to be hard to escape. Yeah, I'm saying, what's wrong with old dude?
The voices persisted, yet the source remained elusive. A man was enjoying a peaceful evening on his farm.
It's obviously somebody in there that knows the place that's doing that to him. I know it might be staged, I don't know, but you know, you go into those abandoned buildings, man, and there's always people. I've been in abandoned places back home, and I've seen people just walk around. You don't know they're there, they don't know you're there, and it's just like, shoop, they just walk by. You know what I'm saying? But that's on the island, and on the island, there's not really a whole lot of people living in abandoned buildings. It's an island, they could walk it in a day. That's how small my whole country is. So, but you know, you go to those like big old warehouses and stuff, buildings and stuff, there's people in there. There was an abandoned old factory right next to the university, and years ago I used to go back there and film stuff sometimes, me and my buddy, and all of a sudden you hear clang clang and you see somebody come out of that building there, you know, with a trash bag with cans and stuff. You go to those abandoned buildings, there's always people in there.
Admiring the sunset
Always.
and the way the light spread beautifully across the clouds, he decided to pull out his phone and record the sky, just to capture the moment. But what he caught was something he never expected.
I see a flash.
For a split second, the footage shows a glitch-like distortion in the sky, almost like a tear or ripple in the air. It wasn't a bird, drone, or camera shake. It looked like a section of the sky briefly shifted, almost like a digital error in real life. The video.
Now, here's something about nature. There's things about nature we don't even know yet. Especially with things changing as it is, we're going to see stuff that we're going to think is supernatural, and it's probably not going to be. It's just nature doing its thing, you know what I'm saying? And nature could be really human-sounded sometimes. You ever been in the forest and the wind going through the trees and sometimes it sounds like somebody's whistling? Or even sometimes when it goes through the leaves, it sounds like somebody's like moaning or something. There was a place called, where my brother's ex-wife used to live. There was this hill. I think they call it Bailey's Hill. You go up this hill, right? And the house was in the back of the old prison. They still use it. They used to call it a dungeon. They didn't get electricity there until the 70s. I mean, it was built centuries ago. And I remember one night I stayed up there hanging out with my older brother too long, and I was walking down Bailey's Hill, right? And it was really windy. And I keep hearing this moaning and this this moaning sound. Every time the wind go by, I keep hearing this moaning sound. So I took off running down that hill, and there's no street lights, man. And that hill is a big drop on the like I said, and you end up in a place called Belmont in the bottom road there. You know what I mean? And it's a gravel hill too. You know, with my big feet, I ain't got no traction. No traction. So I run down that hill and stuff, and I went to my brother and I said, dude, I was walking home and somebody keep following me, moaning and thing, you know. Of course, I couldn't tell if there was anybody following me because it's dark, you know. Plus the prison is right there. What if somebody had escaped the prison, which never really happens because, like I said, it's a dungeon. It was actually bamboo. That bamboo stalks that the wind was going through. That sounded so human. It sounded absolutely human, the wind going through those bamboo stalks. Scariest thing, boy, you know, and of course I'm superstitious anyway, you know, I'm thinking Laja Blaze, Mama Melody, some kind of crazy old folktale character is coming at me. It was just the wind through the bamboo. I never walked there
Shows
alone,
a long
though.
wooden
I didn't trust
board
it.
mounted
Ever
securely
again.
to the wall. He explains that it's screwed in tightly at the top, and there's no open window or airflow in the room. Both the window and the door are closed.
This one's getting about like 237 to like 255. So it's definitely a little bit low. And of course, we have a new issue with this one.
Okay.
Yet somehow, in the dead of night, the board begins to lift itself away from the wall, slowly, as if someone or something is pulling it outward, holding it in place, then letting it go. This wasn't the first time it happened either. He admits he's woken up to it multiple times now, each incident more intense than the last.
Okay, that one is believable. There's nothing to pull it or push it or nothing like that. Nothing at all. It's just moving. Okay. First one that got me a little startled. Whew, yeah.
A man, clearly on edge, began running through his home, recording with his phone after hearing a series of loud, unexplained bangs echoing through the house. He was completely alone, and the sounds didn't come from outside. They were coming from within the walls of the house itself.
There's actually something
My man has got some real angry pipes. Dude, you got somebody living in your walls. Oh, he was really scared. He was really scared. Yeah.
As he moved from room to room,
That ain't no
doors
act.
creaked, the air felt heavy, and then another loud bang rang out, this time closer than before. There were no signs of forced entry, no pets, no one hiding. Just the man, his camera, and something that seemed to be making its presence known in the most aggressive way possible. He later said he had no explanation for the sounds, and this wasn't the first time they'd happened. Was it just the house settling, or something haunting the halls of his home?
Whatever it is, he was really scared. That was no acting. That was no acting there. That dude was petrified. That was no acting. He ran.
Paranormal investigator Tim Morozov returned to a notorious haunted house, infamous for its eerie occurrences. Despite warnings from locals about strange noises, blood-chilling screams, and shadowy figures seen through the windows at night, Tim was undeterred.
Somebody's checking you out, or something is checking you out.
Я знаю, что ты
Oh,
боишься
yeah, you
меня.
got that foreign language too, man.
прячешься от меня? Не бойся меня. Покажись мне.
Ooh, 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 that close one, bam! Get out of the house, bad. Did he just get smacked?
Покажись, демон. Не бойся меня.
Okay, after getting smacked by something he don't
He
know what is, he
experienced
stayed
a
there.
sudden, unseen force attack, capturing a glimpse of a dark entity.
He got Muhammad Ali'd.
Где ты? Ты боишься меня?
Okay, that's real fear in his eyes.
Что это?
Something breathing nice and deep.
Говорил, не боишься меня.
What is going on here? Something moved behind him there. There it goes again.
He filmed what appeared to be a shadow lunging toward him from behind.
Если я помогу тебе, ты уйдешь с этой квартиры.
There's some real fear in his eyes, though. That's not acting at all. Uh oh. Did I just see a door close?
He heard a dragging sound, and as he investigated, something moved right behind him. In a quiet store late at night,
Oh boy. Now listen, man. Sounds like he's in Europe. I think that region is probably the most haunted freaking part of the world. There's been so many battles there, so many wars, so many crazy stuff happening there, you know what I mean? So much tumult just passed and stuff. There's got to be some entities there. Man, they have a whole haunted forest over there. I think it's in Romania. Like a whole haunted forest where people have actually gone in there, like scientists themselves have gone in there and have investigated it. People would go in there and they'd see like people come up and talk to them and stuff, and then just walk away, and like destitute people like in rags and stuff would come up and talk to them, and the rags aren't modern day rags. It's like rags from back in the day. I can't remember the name of the forest. I'm gonna have to look that up. I think the trees are growing kind of funny too. They curvy or something like that. So, but yeah. Yeah, it's a tourist destination now too because of all the paranormal activity that supposedly happens there.
CCTV footage captured a moment that left both staff and viewers scratching their heads. An employee was walking through the aisle, going about their routine, when they moved toward a crate sitting on the floor, likely about to step over or on it.
That was not an act there. That person busted their tail real good.
But just as they approached, the crate suddenly slid out of the way, all on its own. There was no one nearby, no broom, no string, and no reason for it to move.
Oh,
The
wow.
employees stopped in their tracks, clearly startled, then looked around in confusion. The timing was too precise, as if something was trying to warn them or interfere.
Okay, some of them were iffy, but others were like, whoa. The guy in the house where that thing came after at him, you know, and he stayed. After I get knocked to the ground and I don't know what to do it, I'm gone. I'm out. Instead of that, he's still in there going, what am I doing? What's in here? No, the one with the employee, gosh, she really fell. She fell there. I mean, that didn't look like an act at all. You know, her foot wasn't close to the crate or nothing. She stepped, tumbled over. What moved that crate? You know, I always wonder, you know, why do they do stuff like that? You know, I could tell, you know, it was probably, can you just see a group of ghosts saying, get her. After she falls. What mischievousness. Dennis the Menace is on the roll out there. That's some crazy vibe, man. That's some crazy vibe. Anyway, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like the dark, this is a place for you. So come back for more. Come back for more.